And welcome back to the Arizona Cardinals 20-year rebuild. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. As we're now entering into year 4 of this rebuild, and this team has changed so much since the beginning of this franchise, and we've only done 3 off seasons. We've traded for Justin Herbert, which is, obviously a huge deal. We're now going to try to surround him in this up-and-coming offseason, but he's the biggest change to this team. But we've seen the offensive line. We have a bunch of new faces here. We have a different backfield, receiver-wise. The offensive line has changed so much. And then defensively, we've basically revamped this secondary. We're slowly changing these linebackers and this defensive line as well. A couple notes here. Second-year wide receiver Wade Rayfield here came out to being a superstar development receiver. I don't remember when we drafted him. I want to say in the late rounds. I think he was like our last pick. Yeah, in the 5th round. So we might have just found a 5th round gem for our offense. Currently, our best running back is Daniel Johnson for the first draft. So running back becomes, in my opinion, probably the biggest need of this team because, Michael Wilson is an excellent number 2. Marvin is a great number 1. This does kind of mean that Zachary Moore here, who we also drafted, could be expendable. He has star development. He's a good deep threat. And for us, he hasn't done much of anything. And on punt and kick returns, same thing. So Zachary Moore could be expendable today, but another group that needs to be upgraded is this offensive line, and we need to be able to re-sign Paris Johnson. I saw when I stopped recording that Paris didn't even accept the contract that we originally offered him. So we're gonna have to work on that deal, and I didn't work on the contract of Budda Baker during the regular season, so he also needs a new deal. We saw in this current season that we traded for Elijah Fletcher, an excellent defensive end, good pass rusher, can do a little bit of everything for you. And then when you flip it to the other side of our defensive line, Mike Haynes, who has developed pretty nicely for us, has not been the same since his rookie year. 6 sacks, 6.5, and last 2 seasons, 2.5. We need to find this other dominant edge rusher. Haynes is being paid almost $10 million over the next handful of seasons. I mean, is he not as good of a player as I thought he was? And, we have drafted a player like, Jonathan Rivers, entering in now into year 4 with this excellent power move at 89, truly, with Morel affecting it. But, he hasn't played well. We have to figure out this pass rushing, a pass rush. We have to be able to develop it, And in terms of our secondary, I think, trying to keep Budda Baker on this team makes a whole lot of sense. But we have 3 young, 3 young defensive backs, and then Garrett Williams here, who's a solid number 3 corner on any sort of team. So this offseason, trying to get ourselves a new back, some help across the offensive line, re-sign Paris Johnson, help out the pass rush, re-sign Budda Baker, and maybe get some more depth at the linebacker position. But, pass rush is very key in my eyes for this offseason. I don't think I showed this in the last video, but retirement players are happening. Trent Brown, who was on our team, retired. Amari Cooper, Zadarius Smith, Geno Smith, Taylor Moton, Justin Simmons, David Bakhtiari, Chris Jones. I mean, there's a lot of talent here. Even Alvin Kamara retires. Jake Matthews, Dalvin Tomlinson, Derek Carr. So there's some, we're seeing slowly the change in this franchise of the league, which is really what I also want to see from this experiment. And I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. They've been a lot of fun putting together. But we have re-signing now. And like I said, I want to keep both of these 2 players. But is there anyone else? So Elijah Fletcher, we're absolutely picking up this 5th-year option. I don't want him to go anywhere. And I think Blake Sherwood is becoming more and more of a very key offensive lineman for us. So we're going to do that as well. And I think for everyone else back here, these are all depth players. Some of them are, yes, starting offensive linemen. And I'm also going to let Matt Gay go because he has not been kicking well. So we're going to try to bring back both Buda Baker and Paris Johnson. This was the original contract that I offered. Now, I wish that it would reset for me. Like, the contract that... his contract demand that he's right now currently wanting. It's just bringing me back to this. But with that being said, I think I could bring down the money slightly and get him. I want to test it out with him, just because I still want it to be a long-term deal. But I'm going to test it out with him because I am much more willing to tag him. He's saying that he wants to play for a new team, so absolutely franchise tagging him. And that's only $26 million. That's actually not bad at all. For Buda Baker, he wants a 2-year 25. I know this contract would be accepted, but let me try to bring down the money if he is willing to come back. Don't want to bring it down too much. So 2 years, 30 million, and Buda Baker stays. So we'll go into this offseason with about $60 million. I might make a couple cuts, but let's try to upgrade this offensive line. And here we are at open free agency. And Jahmyr Gibbs is out there, a 99 overall running back. Gibbs is absolutely deserving of this. He is the best back in the league. And he needs a new contract. And running back is a position that I'm thinking about. Wanting to get an upgrade. Will it be Jahmyr Gibbs? We see Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. We got Brian Ayuk, Jack Campbell. There's a good amount of talent out here in free agency, so let's try to make some upgrades here. And I just feel like we have to target Jahmyr Gibbs here. You add to already a very explosive offense here in, you know, with Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, and Michael Wilson, with the emergence of Wade, I think is his name, and Gibbs, potentially, that could be a very dangerous unit. John Simpson is another player I'm going to target. Darnell Palman here, a guard, and Darnell Washington. So, yeah, we're very much trying to help out Justin Herbert here. And we got 3 out of the 4. Jahmyr Gibbs, welcome to the desert. John Simpson as well, and Palman as well. So we upgrade the offensive line, and we begin the best back in the league. Still waiting on Darnell Washington, and this would probably be the only other potential player I would target. It would leave us with $4 million. For Jack Campbell, I am going to bring down the money slightly. If he wants to come in here, great. If not, I am not going to force the issue. But Campbell would be the only other player I would consider. He does not sign with us. He goes to Washington. So I think we now move to the draft. I'm very content with the decisions I've made. Looking around the league, I don't think I showed this screen as well. Quinyon Mitchell, he goes to the Titans. Edgerrin Cooper goes to the Patriots. Brandon Ayuk goes to the Titans. Yeah, Jack Campbell going to the Commanders. A lot of talent is moving around the league. We weren't in the sweepstakes of most of these guys, but you know, there's still probably some talent out there. Darnell Washington still did not sign our contract. Gotta remember probably to try to pick him up. But let's move to the draft and have some fun here. Let's first, though, look at the roster. So we currently have the 12th overall pick. And yeah, I would say we've upgraded the offensive line. We've definitely given Justin Herbert now multiple playmakers to work with. I think Ending this draft though with another good young offensive lineman makes a lot of sense. Joey Douglas, I think he will probably be our starting center. So this will be most likely the starting line. But I think having another young lineman would very much help. Defensively, I haven't targeted pass rush, so that might be another candidate for the first round, and probably is. Could consider linebacker as well, as Duval is in the last year of his deal. Same thing with Mac Wilson. I actually really like the interior of our defensive line. So, and I like our secondary as well. So we have the 12th pick. Let's get to the draft. And here is the draft class, led by a quarterback in Nick O'Neill, Mike Flowers. A lot of solid talent in this draft class. In terms of my favorites, I only have one quarterback. I'm now not thinking running back whatsoever. If I was Michael here, Sullivan would have been my target, 22 years old. The speed does worry me a little bit, but I think the acceleration, seeing elite acceleration is just as good in my eyes. Receiver, maybe more down the board, I would consider. Same thing with tight end, but I'm mostly thinking about drafting here either an offensive lineman, maybe one of these pass rushers. There's a lot of good defensive tackles here. There's one name that I want to point out to you guys, and that's Thurman here. Same name, but elite strength, great speed. He might be a target of mine strictly because I think he could be the best player available, and I might try him at playing anywhere on the defensive line. And then you get to all these defensive tackles, few linebackers in this class. That could be another spot I do want to get younger. I think most likely the 12th pick will be a defensive player though. Maybe an offensive lineman. But as we see, Nick O'Neill, the projected number 1 pick, goes to the Broncos. And then we see pass rushers, receivers, a couple corners now, and 2 tackles are off the board. So offensive linemen should be there for us. I like a lot of these linemen. So Darnell Porter, could we draft top 5 talent? Potentially. We have a couple 1 to 2. We don't have all the information on them though. So do we just sit here and say to ourselves, Darnell Porter, he's a top 5 talent, might be just a better run blocker day 1, but everything's there. I think Porter here would be a very fine selection for us and very good for us. In terms of edge, Brian O'Don, he's more of a defensive tackle in my eyes, so I'm not thinking of going that way. What about Morgan McCoy? He is a round 1 guy, 23 years old, not a great athlete, but pass rushing moves are there. Maybe he could handle playing on the defensive line. On the other side of things, Adam Thurston here, 22 years old, a lot less speed, and we don't know his finesse or power moves. So honestly, guys, I think this is, unless you sit here and say Thurman, who, I think is very good, and I just kind of like saying his name, but elite strength, he looks athletic enough to handle playing on the edge as well. So I think there's 3 potential prospects. Thurman. You have Morgan McCoy, as well as tackle Darnell Porter. I think that one of these 3 guys makes the most sense for us. I am trusting my gut here. I'm drafting Thurman with the 12th overall pick here in the 2028 NFL Draft. And we got the 4th best player, an A+ selection. Hidden development, 75 speed, 85 acceleration. Yeah, he could play potentially the edge. You know, he could be a big edge rusher for us. But Thurman, welcome to the desert. I know I potentially could have gotten him in the second round. I ultimately said to myself, I need him, and I'm happy with that selection. Chase Green here in the second round will be my selection. I like at guard, or, you know, in terms of pass blocking, but I think we can develop him. He is ranked 35th, got him at 45, also hidden in development, and he's 21 years old, guys. So I think that we just kind of nailed so far the draft, in my opinion. I'm gonna draft the 6'6" playmaker Thomas Moats here in the 4th round. We did not have a 3rd round pick, but, you know, 81 in true ranked, got him at 109, hit it or normal development, good speed. He's 6'6", less than 200 pounds. Is he more of a basketball player, I guess? Gonna draft Mike Cannon here in the 5th round, a running back. B+ spot 80 or 58th on the board, normal development, a good power back. We need running backs to start developing a little bit. We're gonna double up on receiver. We have another 5th round pick, and we're gonna take Nate Weatherspoon, also a big bodied receiver, 6'5", and a little bit of a reach, but we got him right around where he's projected to go. So a couple big bodied receivers to help out our receiving unit. Here in the 6th round, we're gonna take Michael Heck here, a kicker. And he is ranked 88th. Got him at 170, 86 or 87 kick power. That's not great, but hopefully the accuracy is at least somewhat solid. DeAndre Underwood will be my last selection, a 24-year-old linebacker, and 80 speed, normal dev, maybe a practice squad player. And here's the draft class, guys. Thurman, a true 77 overall, and he's a big fella. 95 strength, 76 power moves. He can move. He can somewhat move. Yeah, I don't know if he could really play the edge. I might list him as an edge rusher. Just for the flexibility. Let's move him to left end. I don't know what. So he's a 77 overall, and this bumps him down to a 74. So he's much more of a defensive tackle than anything, but I'm gonna try him out. We're gonna give it a try. I will always change it back if I need to. Chase Green, guard, 74 overall, hidden development, and day 1 elite pass blocking. Just gotta work on the run blocking for him. That's fine with me, as long as he has a skill set that I could work with. Thomas Moats, the 6'6" receiver, 71 overall, good underneath. Gotta work on his hands. 99 juke, and he's 6'6". I don't know. We'll get him on the field somehow. Drafted Mike Cannon here. Just need a young developing back. I think that's always important to have. Yes, we can work on his hands if needed, but he'll be a nice young running back to develop. Mike Heck here, and will be the last player I'll highlight, our new kicker, and 76 kick accuracy. Yeah, we might have to consider signing a kicker, as this will be the roster as we enter into year 4. We have now given Justin Herbert Jahmyr Gibbs, the best running back in ratings-wise in the league, in our franchise, 99 overall. We brought him in to pair up here with Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Trey McBride. We upgraded this offensive line, and Sherwood is out at the beginning of this season. But he will be playing right tackle for us, so we'll be having a solid group across this offensive line. And then defensively, Thurman's going to be a starter. We're going with a lot of youth on this defense, and we're hoping that, they will be able to stay strong for us. So, will we be able to beat the Seattle Seahawks? Let's see. Monday Night Football, prime time. Last year we went 7-10, and we start the season 1-0, beating our division rivals 45-24. That's a great start here. Can we keep it up here versus the Falcons? As Atlanta lost their first game, and the Cardinals are off to an excellent start. Love to see that. Delegate that to the coaches. Let's sim a couple more games together. The Saints now. And we beat them again. 23-17. We are 3-0. What happens after the Patriots? Can we stay undefeated? If we don't, what occurs? We do stay undefeated. So that's huge. Looks like we have a new injury after this game. Mac Wilson, he's going to be out with a broken collarbone. So I don't know who's going to be starting at linebacker for us, but 26 players need new deals. We have close to $100 million. Marvin Harrison Jr., Paris Johnson, Brian Percease, Jonathan Rivers, Zachary Moore, Mac Wilson. I mean, we have, players from our first class in this up-and-coming free agency, as well as, some very key starters. So, as of right now, I want to make sure that Paris Johnson comes back, and I don't care how old he is. So, 6-year deal, he resigns. We have our left tackle. For Marvin, for now, we're going to hold off. We're going to sim now, I want to say, to week 9 and see where this roster takes us. And since I've stopped commentating on the games, we fell 3 out of our last 4. We're now 5-3. Just beat the LA Rams. Currently right now, Justin Herbert is putting together an excellent season. Love to see that. Jahmyr Gibbs is off to a hot start. Daniel Johnson's also playing a lot, and that's due to the fact that Gibbs got hurt. He's out for the next 5 weeks, so Daniel Johnson's going to get a major opportunity for us in some starts. Marvin Harrison Jr. posting up a fantastic season so far. Wade Rayford, 6 scores so far. Michael Wilson, only 2 and 300. Our passing game is looking good, and our offensive line is playing excellent. So offensively, which is the stronger side of the ball, is playing very well. The pass rush, Elijah Fletcher continues to produce. Brian Percease, 3.5 sacks, but unfortunately, he's also out for the next handful of weeks. So losing him and his pass rushing abilities hurts. But the pass rush does not seem to have improved. It makes sense. We haven't done, I wanted to prioritize it more. Thurman, 3 sacks, so he's been playing on the edge, inside a little bit as well, but 3 sacks so far is not terrible in my eyes. But we need to see more from the pass rushing unit. A couple picks across the board. Elijah Moulton is getting on the field. I don't like to see that. He's our backup safety, but Orlando Thomas here, our 3rd overall pick from a year ago, has 2 picks so far. And currently, yard-wise, we're ranked 6th and 24th defensively. So, yeah, the stronger side of the football is playing well, and they need to continue. As we're currently 5-3, 2nd place of the division. Tougher division this year, Seattle with a 5-3 record as well, and San Fran is not so far behind with a 3-4 record. We're trying to make a little bit more headway here. So let's sim a couple more games. We're gonna get past the trade deadline as well. We fall here to the Miami Dolphins, 27-20. Let's sim to the bye week. We have the Niners now, who, sorry, I didn't even look at their record, but it's a divisional team. It's important. Why is this so fucking slow? We did beat them, so we bounced back with a good solid victory. And now 6-4. What do we do entering into the bye week? Can we beat Dallas? Dallas has been known for a good simming team, and we did actually beat them. So currently 7-4. We have the same amount of wins from a year ago. And so far, so good. As we now enter into our bye week. So I'm going to sim ahead and see what we can do. As I've gotten us to week 15. We went 1-1 in the 2 games I simmed, so now we're 8-5. And we're set to face off against the 8-5 Seattle Seahawks. Top-notch defense, a good running game. That's Seattle football for you. Currently, we would be 2 of the out of the 3 wild card teams, as we're both 8-4. And you can see the Niners, or the Rams here are currently the 4th seed. So very tight division. Potentially 3 teams could be making it in. And so far, this is due to the fact of, Justin having a solid season. More interceptions than I really want to see, but so far solid. Jahmyr Gibbs playing well. Daniel Johnson, only 2.6 yards per carry. That's not good. We see more Rashad White. He's kind of playing a lot. We're seeing all the depth starting. Marvin Harrison Jr. needed a new contract, and he's posting up an excellent season. He's 26 years old, and he's developed solidly for us. I don't know if I would consider him a true number 1, but he's definitely going to hit 1,000 yards. He's probably going to hit close to 8 touchdowns. I think Marvin, we should probably extend him. Wade Renfield here, playing very well as well. Michael Wilson. Passing wise, it's all looking pretty solid. Offensive line, Blake Sherwood has allowed 4, but the line as a unit has played well. We've seen a lot more offensive linemen play. And then defensively, this is the weakness of this team. And that's very apparent. Elijah Fletcher proving to be very, very important to our defense. Darian Robinson here, 6.5 sacks, kind of stepping up in also a contract season since his 2nd season. And he's played significant snaps for us throughout his career. So is he worth considering to bring back, as he is currently number 2? Brian Percease is right behind him. And Thurman still only has 3 sacks. Marcus Brumble here, 3rd-year safety, having a very good season. 3 picks so far. And we've seen a couple other guys get turnovers. Okay, so we now have an important week here, here in week 15 versus Seattle. Can we beat them and stay one of the top wild card teams? And we do. We beat them 28-17, as that puts us at probably currently the 5th seed. That probably seals us a postseason spot. And due to the fact that we have a couple division games at the end of this season, let's continue just simming along, beating the Buccaneers pretty easily, 35-10, putting us at a 10-5 record. 12-5 was our best record. Can we beat the Niners? We can. So here in week 18, this is for the division. Currently tied up at 11-5 apiece versus this LA team. And, we have a good points per game. Our defense is actually not allowing a lot of points either. We're top 10 there. We're actually a pretty well balanced team. The passing game is surprisingly the issue for us. But can we beat this Rams team and head back to the postseason? We have not seen postseason Cardinals since year 1. And can we beat this team, solidify a division, or a home game for us? And we can't. We lost, but we knew we were in. So for the last 4 years, guys, we went 12-5 to 5-12 to 7-10 to now 11-6. So, and we are now, you know, second year for Justin Herbert at the helm. And I would say pretty convincingly, Herbert was definitely a good decision to make a trade. Over the last 2 seasons, he's posted up 54 touchdowns, 25 interceptions, solid in terms of everything. You know, as Kyler Murray, who we traded to the Chargers, I mean, he had his better season here, but 26 touchdowns, 17 INTs, you know, he has not at all looked very good throughout this series. So I think we've so far won that trade, which is nice to see. Jahmyr Gibbs, and he only played in 12 games, but still posted up 900 yards and 7 scores. We see that Rachaad White scored 7 times, Daniel Johnson scored 6, so our backups got a couple good plays in. Marvin Harrison Jr., and I forgot to give him that contract. Did I? I think I did. But he posted up his career best. 95 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 scores. Career highs in every major category. So that's huge. Michael Wilson showing that he's a solid number 2, but Wade Rayfield is proving that, you know, maybe we don't really need Michael Wilson. He could be expendable. Trey McBride having a solid season from a tight end, actually a very good season from a tight end. Sack-wise, 5 for Paris Johnson, and I think this offensive line played very well. Zaven Collins led us in tackles, had also 4 sacks. Elijah Fletcher finished the season with 12.5, 7.5 here for Darren Robinson. Brian Proceed with 5. Mike Haynes kind of had a bounce back with 5. We see 2 players, Thurman with 10 TFLs, and a bunch of guys getting some turnovers. Nothing really jumping out there. I don't think I gave Marvin that contract. I know I can get there. But the MVP is Patrick Mahomes. Coach of the Year is Matt LaFleur. And let's see if there's any Cardinals. Not at quarterback. Not Offensive Player of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year. Not Rookie of the Year for the offense, but number 2 for the defense. Thurman was right behind Robinson. Surprisingly, quarterback is number 10 in Herbert. Gibbs, if he had 1,000 yards, he would have been number 1. Not receiver, and that kind of surprises me. Where is Marvin? I guess he didn't have enough scores. Offensive line, also surprisingly, none of us. Our defensive line, Elijah Fletcher, number 4. So we have some guys representing in the top 10 at least. But let's see if we can get to the screen of re-signing. We can. So let's see. We have $68 million. Marvin Harrison Jr., yeah, now he wants a 4-year, about $25-ish million. This is I think a very team-friendly contract. I'm going to bump it up to 5. He re-signs. So he's our number 1. He's our guy. And with that, with $45 million and a lot of important depth to starters, we have the CPU got us a hidden dev defensive tackle. Nice. We have a lot of key decisions and not a lot of money either. So I got the 2 big ones done. So let's turn our attention here to the postseason. LA, we split the series with them. Can we beat them again in LA? And we can. We beat them 41-28. And now we play against the 15-2 Green Bay Packers, the number 1 seed, as we're the lone 5th seed. As it, you know, Calvin Ford, their new quarterback, Herbert played well. Jahmyr Gibbs carried the load. You know, this was a Gibbs game, and kind of love to see that. Got a couple sacks, 1 interception. So now we're very much underdogs here versus the Packers. Can we beat them and get to the NFC Championship game? And we can't. We lost to the Packers 27-24, a close ball game. I would have to go back and look at year 1. I believe we were I think we were 1 and done. But here, you know, Jordan Love leads the Packers to a victory. Gibbs scored twice. Jacobs produced. You know, unfortunately, you know, our passing game kind of fell apart. You know, the offensive line didn't play bad, and we know this defense isn't supposed to carry any sort of load for us, so I would blame our passing game and probably in Justin Herbert. But here in year 4, we now move, you know, almost a quarter of the way through this series, you know, one more season, and we've made it, I believe, to the divisional round once. I just simply passed the Pro Bowl. Okay, no Pro Bowl roster, whatever. But in 4 seasons, we made the postseason twice. We've had a top 5 pick or top 3 pick, and we had the middle of the road pick. And I would sit here and say, so far, this rebuild has technically been a successful for the Cardinals. Making the postseason twice, at least winning 1 postseason game, I don't think it's at all a problem. So I you know, as we sim here in the Super Bowl, I so far happy with the progress of this team. I think here in year 5, we have much more of a legitimate chance to make much more of a deeper run. You know, we've upgraded, we have a couple young offensive linemen, including Sherwood here. We have playmakers across the board. Herbert has another year on his deal. And, you know, yeah, we'll probably continue to focus on this defense and try to upgrade them the best that we can. And yeah, I don't think that, I think that makes a lot of sense for us entering into year 5. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's action. Maybe a little bit of a longer video today, just trying to give you guys more information. I would say at year 5, I am going to start to look at career stats for our players, just to see where they are, you know, in terms of any sort of records or anything like that. Currently, we have $41 million as we enter into year 5. I hope you guys enjoyed today's action. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment what you thought. And I will see you in the next one.